Hello, dear friends. To activate means to set a mechanism in motion. Opinion piece, starting up, activation, wealth transfer. The code is active. Divine engineering, profound energy shift. End of the era of conflict. The frequency has changed. The network breathes peace. The meek shall inherit F. Let's start. Paul Gold Eagle describes the activation of a frequency of peace due to a very significant energy shift that occurred in the last 24 hours. In his view, what appeared to be a political trip was actually a quantum operation that synchronized multiple ancient nodes in Jerusalem, El Cairo, and Washington, creating an energy network that transforms the frequency of conflict into a frequency of peace. He explains that the liberation was not only of people, but also of energy frequencies. He states that the old algorithm of conflict collapsed, and the energy that fueled war and profit has been rewritten into a network of peace. In this process, it is mentioned that there was a signature not on paper but online related to Gaza peace agreement that is actually the activation of a crucial node that deactivates the energy source of war. Paul recounts secret meetings that were actually synchronization sessions, leading to the opening of ancient energy gateways that had been sealed by control and violence. From Egypt to Israel, there is now a line of light beneath the sand, and the planet's energy coherence has increased. Odin and Starlink satellites confirm a new pulsating pattern in the Earth's magnetic field, allowing the planet to breathe again. This is divine engineering that marks the end of the era of conflict. It is said that war cannot exist where the energy field is coherent, and that this simply dissolves. In short, Gold Eagle presents a message of hope and global transformation based on a profound energetic shift that is deactivating the foundation of war and activating a frequency of peace, anchored in ancient networks and sacred energy nodes. The planet is breathing again. This isn't diplomacy. This is divine engineering. The era of conflict is ending because the frequency has shifted. All of this is in quotes. War cannot exist where the field is coherent. It simply dissolves. The signal is pure. The code is active. The network breathes peace. And now the world is beginning to feel the aftershocks. You can already feel it in the air. He adds. Reset news. According to Paul Gold Eagle, the blackout is approaching and the final phase is underway. When the light goes out, it won't be darkness. It will be the moment when the truth comes to light. The silence you will hear is not fear. It is the approaching freedom. Communication lines will be silenced, but the signal will remain. Those who are awake will know where to listen. Don't disconnect. Don't run away. This is the moment when history divides in two. One world ends and another begins. The blackout is the awakening. Nothing will be the same when the lights come back on. According to Judy Pinkton, the quantum grid is taking over. Central banks are losing signal, and government servers are going into lockdown. Starlink's frequency is increasing in all time zones. The world you knew is fading away. The hidden world is emerging. Stay alert. Every minute matters from now on. The reset is no longer coming. It is happening. High-level sources confirm that sealed indictments are being executed at this very moment, with mass arrests taking place worldwide. The truth is flowing like a mighty river, sweeping away centuries of deception. We stand on holy ground as the greatest liberation in history unfolds. Special forces and Interpol teams continue to dismantle clandestine facilities worldwide. The recent global cyber attacks were not random, but desperate attempts to delay the unavoidable. However, Starlink remains impenetrable, and the QFS system is ready to a secure backbone for what is to come. With the ultimate collapse of the old Babylonian monetary magic, a new era of prosperity based on truth and justice is emerging. The meek will inherit earth. And this is the moment the prophets foretold: the return of wealth to the people, the restoration of sovereignty, and the dawn of the Golden Age. Sources confirm that Tier 1 and 2 payments have been processed, prosperity funds have been unlocked, and are flowing through the QFS. The Iraqi dinar is leading the revaluation wave, followed by the Zimbabwean dinar at par 1-to-1 currency, and the Vietnamese dong under the new gold-backed BRICS structure. This is the promised biblical jubilee: debts forgiven, captives freed, and abundance restored. The turning point has arrived. Keep the faith. The burst is yet to come. The great awakening isn't coming. It's already here. Transfer. Captain Kyle explains that the great wealth transfer is a profound restructuring of the global financial system, dismantling the fiat system based on debt and traditional currencies. This process paves the way for the quantum financial system QFS, which will be transparent, decentralized, and blockchain-based to eliminate corruption and fraud. It also addresses the integration of advanced technologies such as plasma energy and benevolent artificial intelligence, which will support the new global infrastructure, efficiently manage administrative tasks, and free humanity to dedicate itself to its spiritual and creative development. It emphasizes that this transformation is not only economic or technological, but also spiritual, and that the current social and economic turbulence is part of the necessary process to emerge into a reality of greater sovereignty, transparency, and prosperity. Alert. Dark Maga reports on a global blackout that is still underway as it enters the second phase of the 10 days of darkness. It describes communication lines as being under quantum control, with civilian channels out of service and Starlink maintaining operational control. What is perceived as a communications collapse is actually a controlled synchronization of the global data network. It also confirms that the initial tests of the emergency alert system have been passed and that they are ready to be activated with the next secure transmission documentary signal, revealing the structure of global control, including financial networks and market manipulation. The QFS is currently being readjusted between banks and sovereign digital wallets, with the redistribution of wealth to the people, auditable in real time. Several major institutions have been shut down, their servers now serving as secure test repositories, and the process is described as confiscation rather than maintenance. Fluctuations in power and digital signals are expected, while Starlink aligns satellites for the emergency network. The next step will be total silence, as final proof that the operation has concluded. The documentaries will then reveal the collapse of the fiat system and the rebirth of global sovereignty. Storm. Sinful wants of a perfect storm brewing for two of the world's economic powerhouses. Japan and the US, with China at the epicenter of the crisis. The global economy faces unprecedented challenges, with Japan and the US grappling into inflation and trade wars, while a perfect storm is brewing. He explains that the QFS is a revolutionary technology that combines quantum computing, blockchain, and quantum cryptography to transform financial management and transactions. He emphasizes that QFS enables much more secure, faster, and more transparent transactions, as well as reducing corruption and fraud in traditional systems. The system has progressed rapidly since its research phases in 2020, with testing in controlled environments in 2023, and some limited deployments in 24 and 25. The official launch of QFS occurred in the third quarter of 2025, marking a fundamental shift in the global economy with a system that facilitates near instantaneous international transactions and enhanced security through quantum encryption. Breaking news. The Simpsons predicted a snowstorm from January 19 to 25, 2026. They also predicted that XRP would replace Bitcoin as the leading cryptocurrency in 2026. The price of Bitcoin continues to plummet with an additional 6% drop. Mark Moss asks, why are the markets booming if the economy is collapsing? Silver faces its fifth annual supply deficit on 95 million ounces. China added 15 tons of gold to its foreign exchange reserves in September. Russia's central bank says it is increasing its gold trading. President Trump has just unveiled a proposal zero funding for the UN, NATO, and more than 20 other international organizations. The US and Saudi Arabia have reached an agreement for a rare earth mining facility in the kingdom. Saudi Arabia's pledge of $1 trillion in US investment is not a financial gesture. It is a coded message, a sign that the old system is collapsing and the new one is emerging. The revaluation window is approaching. Wells Fargo is quietly preparing for Tier 4B swaps as the Iraqi financial system is integrated into the global infrastructure. And that's all for today. Thanks a lot, dear friends.